I'm Nick Vaquero. I'm a senior editor with Oilman Magazine, and in our Tech Spotlight today, we're speaking with Mark Workman, president of RMI Supply. RMI Supply is a leading provider of specialty oil field chemicals, and in addition to bringing reliable products to its customers, it does so in a fast and responsive fashion. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for letting me
Good.
come on.
Thanks for joining me. What do you say we jump right in?
Sure, that'd be great.
Okay. What areas of the oil and gas industry does RMI service, and what specialty chemicals does it offer?
Well, as in my view, our main focus would be drilling. We do have chemical solutions for different areas within the oil field industry, but our main focus would be drilling. A lot of our companies we serve are the mud companies that serve the operators, right? They're doing these mud programs, drilling programs. In our programs like xanthan, PHPA, the polyanic cellulose, PAC-Ls, PAC-R, those kind of things are all designed to affect the thinness or thickness, the viscosity of a liquid. And they have to have, they're always monitoring new fluids as they drill, right? You're probably aware of this, but as they do that, there's sometimes they need it to thin out, or they need it to have a higher viscosity, for whatever reason, to make sure that as they drill, it goes well. Clean out the hole, whatever. So a lot of our products are based on that for the drilling side, and we focus with the mud companies. I do sell to mining companies, Index. They're out of Australia, but they're all over the world. And I do horizontal drilling companies like Liquid PHPA. Our products we're an NSF facility, so meaning we're NSF certification means that you can go through water tables because our products are safe and able to go through that. So we've gone through all those processes and serve those kind of companies. And as I mentioned, a biocide program, and that's really kind of a strange one because it's a military application where there's a company that I serve that actually treats uniforms for the military around the world.
Wow.
It's kind of an interesting program, but so a wide range of things as I do, but I would have to say drilling is really our main focus, is the truth.
Okay. So using the chemicals you offer on the drilling side, what makes their use so critical?
Well, if you're usually one of your questions that you've sent me here is talking about efficiency. If you have any kind of slowdown on the drilling process because they can't clean out the hole at the bottom as it drills, it creates these pieces of stone or whatever the formation is that need to come out of there, and these fluids are what grabs those things and keeps the hole clean. Well, it can shut down the drilling process, and I think you would understand that if a drilling rig shuts down at all for even an hour, I mean, they're losing their minds,
Right.
So the products are important, and it's actually one of the most important things on a drill site is the fluid additives to keep it cool, control temperature, maybe control the brine, the salt, the clay, if they get it into a clay, lost circulation for water. There's a million things they're looking at. It's super technical. Even all my years, it's still sometimes it's beyond my understanding sometimes, because it's so technical. And these guys are geniuses, really, that come up with these mud programs. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
And I'm overwhelmed at times when I'm talking to them, but a lot of times, I can figure out what they're trying to solve. They can give me some specs. I understand the process, but they're really dealing with really complicated issues at times on drills when they're drilling. And so our products will really help them to complete it in a safe, efficient, quick way. So anytime they can do it quicker and meet their goal, boy, it's a lot of money savings for them guys. So it's a big deal.
Yeah. So you've kind of answered the next question about the efficiency. So, which is good. So we've seen, it seems to be a reoccurring theme in oil and gas that instead of investing in new infrastructure, or I don't want to say new technology, but maybe additional assets, it's let's improve efficiency of what we're working with to what drive profits. So obviously, the products you offer on the drilling side, as you said, increase that efficiency. I would say that theme has at least been prevalent for 3 to 5 years. Let's increase efficiency. have you seen a growth in the products you offer and the demand for those products? I mean, obviously they already service if it, they fit the efficiency factor, but are you seeing that same growth in what you offer?
Yeah, and again, I would probably be a guy that's involved in the wholesale supply of what's tried and true, right?
Mm-hmm.
These products are things that have been around a long time. They're not a mystery, but at the same time, um, the efficiency thing has come in many ways. Like, innovation costs money, right? Let's go
Right.
create some innovation and do something in some unique and wonderful way. But usually those things come with a cost. And I actually think it's sometimes technology and going forward, you kind of go backwards sometimes. It sounds crazy to talk that way, but like sometimes we're creating problems when we go forward when we have this really affordable situation that works all the time, and that's kind of the lane I stay in a little bit. We have innovated in creating a few products, an block for water treatment. We've done a few of these things, but what we find is that these operators and the mud companies really want to. This is what's worked. We know it works, and it works efficiently. And then I think the way we create efficiency is a couple ways. And this is the only way I compete, really, because the big boys are getting bigger, right? Consolidation's going on. They're just gobbling up. Hear about New Park, they're getting restructured, probably going to get bought out by somebody, whatever the rumor is of the day. But the truth of it is for us we stick to the high end of the grade. So our xanthan is what's considered a 20 plus at 3 RPM on Brooksfield test. Well, most people use the API. You're probably familiar with the API grade, 13 tech grade. So everyone is kind of sticking to that tech grade stuff. And when we go to the higher ends, you can use less of our product. You can, what I mean? It's more efficient, higher performance. And getting an operator or a mud company, we don't sell to operators, but the mud companies to switch over to this idea that if they bought a better, higher quality product, they would use less, and maybe their supply chain would become more stable because they don't have to have it as often, because of all the problems that are going on with the supply chain. It's hard to get people to move there, but what I found is once I get them to move there, they don't go back. I get them to move to a higher end product with their PHPAs or effectiveness and the xanthan and our polyanic cellulose is at 92%, tests at 95, 94. Most people are selling a 68 to 72. So they got to use more PACL to get the same performance on, they got to use 9 bags of the tech grade for 4 bags of my, does that make sense? So,
yes.
So it's all kind of a wash in thinking, but it's hard to get people to jump that hurdle. But once they do, I kind of get them to stay, And I also would say, like during COVID, I think a lot of people automated. We had to. We had 15 people we needed every day, and during COVID, we were getting 1.
Wow.
Literally, it was a disaster. I mean, I was still operating, getting orders, and no one was coming in. There's obviously, this is not a political statement, but there's money flying everywhere. People were just staying home, and that's just really the reality, right? Well, for us, it was a real challenge, and so we essentially started this whole process of automating. We got creative. We made a lot of our own equipment. We did a lot of our own processes, and we can do a load of PHPA in pails, 832 pails, completely blended in the pails and labeled in 2 hours and be on a truck by in the afternoon if they order in the morning. So that speed that we created, we didn't go to a company and get automated equipment. We did it ourselves. We said, this is the best way to do it. So now instead of needing 15 guys, we got 3 guys doing 6 to 8 loads a day, rather than 15 guys standing around and whatever, So we changed the way we did things quite a bit because of COVID. So that's a blessing of it. At the same time, it was challenging during that time because we couldn't get anyone to come to work, and really challenging. So it made us innovate. It was that innovation term again, and it cost us at the time, but now it's paying us back. And so that's where I would say innovation in terms of how to manage your labor and maybe get things done a little faster, but it really wasn't a product innovation. It was the
Right.
process innovation. Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense, you know?
Yeah, that makes very good sense. So have you had to do anything else to combat the shortages and the pains from the pandemic? So you talk about how you can get the product out. Is there anything else you had to do post pandemic to bring the product in to meet the demand?
Well, part of it is that the changes that needed to come, at least with my colleagues, and I just got back from Houston last week. We were talking about this, and then I was talking about this interview actually, just about some of your questions and stuff, and we were just going back and forth about it. Is really it was a change in thinking. The volatility in the oil field used to be maybe 7, 8 years, 9 years. You always have these down 6, 8, 10 months, and you're probably totally familiar with all this. Well, now I say the volatility is coming every 2.5 years.
Right.
It seems like that window of volatility is shorter. And then I'm starting to, in my own thinking, I'm starting to read history books about World War II and the Great Turning and the how we provided safety with our Navy for the world for free trade. Well, all that's changing because you got these groups of nations that have started joining themselves, the BRICS nations, and so logistics is really, really sensitive. So you get a wrinkle in the Panama Canal with an Egypt boat turned sideways for a few days that shuts the world down.
Right.
Right. It's just like on an airline, if you're a passenger on a flight and somebody in Atlanta, one of the planes fails, and all of a sudden that ripple goes across the country and affects me in LA. What the heck? I mean, I'm chewing on them. What's going on, right? But
Right.
it's really this ripple effect because we've got the supply chain so tight, on-time delivery, right? On-time inventory. We're doing it within days now, so everything's that way. Our food and everything is on-time delivery, on time. So any wrinkle anywhere in the world affects us, right? So, and the volatility's gotten shorter. 2.5 years probably is where I consider it to be. So what we did is what we've decided is that we're trying to really think about it all the time. We probably have a monthly talk about, what's the demand occurring in xanthan? Because China's the only manufacturer now in the world. Because of policies in our own country, no one in the United States makes xanthan anymore. So we got to go to China to get it, and we need it for the oil industry. So
Right.
they know this, and they have taken advantage of it fully. Trust me, they are taking advantage of this situation fully. But now we have to realize we have to somehow pre-plan and pre-think for the volatility that's coming every 2.5 years and what possible wrinkles. So in December this year, I was working on a situation. I see this stuff going on in the Red Sea, and the Houthis are bombing boats. You're probably aware of this, And I said, what cargo rates are going to go up? So in early December, I bought 32 loads of xanthan, prepaid them. And the freight rates doubled in 2 weeks, from
Wow.
about 6,000 to roughly 14,000, 13,500 for a container. So you got to pay attention to the fundamentals in the world. You
Right.
got to be thinking what's going on in the Red Sea or Panama or whatever. It used to be I could just think about good old Texas. It's not that way anymore.
Right.
COVID threw a lot of wrenches into the system. Can't get enough drivers, can't get enough employees, right? So the volatility is just can come on you so quick. And so we literally talk about it every month. We literally spend days, what are you seeing? What am I not seeing? Who have you talked to? We try to get intel, literally.
Yeah.
And it's so important to kind of figure out that because it is very volatile, and you've got to be thinking. Or if you're just reacting and waiting, I think you're toast.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you want to sit there and have this balance. You want to have some stock, I would imagine, to work with, but yet you don't want all of your cash flow going to bringing in product and storing it until you can turn around and sell it. But again, yet you have to be prepared for a shortage, so you want to have some in supply. So I imagine it's a very delicate balance to try to maneuver.
Well, I don't bring anything in that I know I don't really already have sold. I have customers that buy 4 loads of this a month or 5 or whatever, so I know the numbers. So when I say I bought 32 loads in, and and prepaid them, We're going to get those in 12 load increments over the next 2 months. And again, we locked in the freight, locked in everything. All that's almost all sold. It's not like it's going to set, but the idea of making a decision in early December is, guaranteed, because China wants their money.
Right.
They want it, Mark, get that here, they want the money, they want paid, and made the deal and got it set. And it's pretty important to think, and you can't just be reacting these days. You literally got to look at almost every little thing is possible to get cause trouble. There's so many little things that get cause trouble, so many variables now that I used to not even think about 15 years ago,
Right.
honestly, so I don't know, maybe that's a bad answer. I don't know, but it seems to make sense to me.
Well, I think being proactive in anything you do is the secret to success. So I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think too, for us, we stay very lean. None of us we love the work. There's attitudes behind the scenes of how we love the work. We love what we do. We're not going to retire. We're not going anywhere. We don't spend money. We're out of debt, and we just keep lean. And, I don't like to leverage, so I feel like if something really went bad, I could probably go a long time. And, in terms
That's good.
So those are all strategies that, go into my thinking, and to all of my group the guys that I work with. But we, we're definitely trying to every month, at least, what's going on in the world. We ask like 5 questions. What's going on in the world? Yeah. What's going on in China? It sounds crazy, but, and
it's critical. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. So if anybody wants to learn more about RM Supply or RMI Supply or contact you, where should they go?
They can rmisupply.com. It's really a brochure. It's not like you're going to go do any business there, but it really explains us and a little bit of our story and how we got into existence, and how to contact us there, rmisupply.com. And then, not unknown in the industry, almost everybody would know who we are and everything. So you can go to LinkedIn and, that kind of thing. And then if they want to email me, they can email me or call me from any of those places. So,
okay.
Yeah.
You want to put a phone number out there?
Sure. 406-590-3200. That's a Montana phone number, because I live in Montana, but all my work's all over the United States. So.
Okay. So after you have your Monday morning meeting tomorrow, and you figure out what China's doing and what the rest of the world is doing, let me know, so I'll have an idea.
Well, I talk to them in the middle of the night. When I'm up at the middle of the night talking to them is when I find out what they're doing, and a lot of times they're good colleagues. My contacts in China, I'm not going to say it's a negative, but they're always trying to throw a wrench into it a little bit, and make you think, and they're very savvy and very hardworking, all that, and they definitely keep us on our toes, and it's usually in the middle of the night. So.
Okay. Well, I sure appreciate you taking time to talk with me today. It's been a good interview, very informative.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you so much.